Hey, Michelle. Chapter 1, Part 2. The Anatomy of Depression. Also, I have something special planned for you. This. Hello. I don't know why you say why I say hello. Okay, I don't know why I did that. Also, apparently I'm a little racist. We shall continue now. God, I might have to re-record this. Okay, so the anatomy of depression. Let's look briefly at the development of the whole pattern of depression before we get into its individual elements. So, like the whole pattern that it functions on. When we become deeply unhappy or depressed, an avalanche of feelings, thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors come into play. As revealed in the checklist of the hallmark symptoms of major depression, see box page 19. The hallmarks of major depression include feeling depressed or sad most of the day. Oh, these are the major depression. So, this box says major depression at the top, and the first paragraph followed by a list. Is first a paragraph followed by a list. The paragraph says, major depression is diagnosed when someone experiences either of the first two symptoms in the following list, and at least 4 or more of the other symptoms continuously over at least a 2-week period and in a way that departs from normal functioning. So the list says, number 1, feeling depressed or sad most of the day. Number 2, loss of interest or ability to derive pleasure from all or nearly all activities that were previously enjoyed. 3, significant weight loss when not dieting, or weight gain, or a decrease or increase in appetite nearly every day. 4, difficulty sleeping through the night or the need for more sleep during the day. 5, noticeably slowed down or agitated through the day. 6, feeling fatigued or at a loss of energy nearly every day. Number 7, feelings of worthlessness or extreme or inappropriate guilt. Most guilt that is extreme is inappropriate, but number 8, difficulties, well, I guess that isn't true, but number 8, difficulties with concentration or the ability to think. Clearly I have this, which can also be seen by others as indecisiveness. Yeah, that's something that's very common. Number 9, recurrent thoughts of death or ideas of suicide, with or without a specific plan for committing suicide or a suicide attempt. And that's outside of the parentheses, or a suicide attempt after the ideas. Okay. So, we now know the box. That's the box. I'm going to reread the initial statement. When we become deeply unhappy or depressed, an avalanche of feelings, thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors come into play. As revealed in the checklist of the hallmark symptoms of depression, see box 19. The huge emotional upheaval that can come from experiencing loss, separation, rejection, or any reversal that brings a sense of humiliation or defeat is normal. Disturbing emotions are an important part of life. I'm not getting better at this. Disturbing emotions are an important part of life. They signal to us and to others that we are severely distressed, that something untoward has happened in our lives. But sadness can give way to depression when the sadness turns into endemically harsh negative thoughts and feelings. The morass of negative thinking then generates tension, aches, pains, fatigue, and turmoil. Maybe that's why my back hurts sometimes. Or that might be stress. Anyway, it's the same idea, I guess. These, in turn, feed more negative thinking. The depression gets worse and worse, and with it, the hurt gets worse and worse. We only compound our feelings of depletion if we deal with them by giving up activities that normally nourish us, like getting together with friends and family who might be a real support for us. I'd like to emphasize, getting together with friends and family who might be a real support for us. Specifically those. Sorry about that. I'm gonna fix my mic. Our exhaustion is compounded if we deal with it by simply working harder. So, what it's saying is, if you try to deal with this by just, like, working harder at it and pushing past it, it's actually causing damage. Because you're not dealing with the issues that actually caused it. And that isn't to say that you can't work hard, but that isn't the solution. It's just not the solution, so you need to make sure you follow the actual solution. Continuing on, continuing on, it's not difficult to see how feelings, thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors are all part of depression. Early in the chapter, we described the aches that Alice felt after a night of berating herself, the iron ball that Jim felt he had to keep swallowing when he thought about what his day held in store. That was phrased in a different way, but I think we're good. As many of us are only too aware, being down can make it hard to do much of anything, or to make choices that get us where we want to go. Maybe I think I need to redo this section. Okay. I wanted to ask if you got that, but you can just like go back and do it, but I'm still gonna redo it because I think it's important that you get this like without as much problem. I'm sorry, not you specifically. It's just because it seems like I was really off. Sorry for so many little stops. It's not difficult to see how feelings, thoughts, physical sensations, and behaviors are all a part of depression. Earlier in this chapter, we described the aches that Alice felt after a night of berating herself, the iron ball that Jim felt like he had to keep swallowing when he thought about what his day held in store. As many of us are only too aware, being down can make it hard to do much of anything, or to make choices that get us where we want to go. What's harder to see is how any one part of this anatomy can trigger the downward spiral, and then how each component feeds into and reinforces the others. By this process, the state of mind that keeps us unhappy or leaves us vulnerable to depression gets stronger and stronger. A closer look at the parts at this point may help us see the whole more clearly. So what it's saying is, what it's going to do is next we're going to be talking about specifically feelings, followed by thoughts, followed by a bunch of thoughts, followed by more thoughts, followed by the body, followed by behaviors. And something else. Is there another one? No, behaviors is the end of it. So that's going to be the end of chapter 1. So I'm sorry for dropping so much stuff on you. I know this was the shorter chapter or section, but my tongue is very, very big with my mouth, and it's having trouble. So I'm gonna really quickly kill this. We'll start again with feelings, depending on if this recording is good enough to actually give you. I'll give it to you as a blooper if I don't actually give it to you, so don't worry about not getting it, although I don't know why it would matter. The reason I say that because I'm explaining it to you as if you were going to hear this regardless, so I guess it was kind of obvious that I left it as a blooper if I left it as a blooper. So sorry, that was really loud. Okay, I will talk to you soon.